Is this you? You wake up tired, you push through your day, and then you crash on the couch after your long work day, wondering when you're ever going to get the energy to go after your goals that really matter to you? I mean, for many of us, work gets our best hours, stress grabs our focus, and the big vision that you have, it gets whatever the scraps are left at the end of the day, and a lot of times it's not given any attention until maybe the next day or over the weekend. Well, living like that, it drains you more than boosts your energy. It really slowly convinces your future that you're always behind, that you'll never reach your dream, that you should just give up on that silly little thing. Your schedule and everybody else needs your attention. I've talked to a lot of people that have said that, and you deserve more than that. While your days, deserve to have your days refill you while you live them out normally, and your goals really should just stay alive instead of waiting for some perfect season to show up. A lot of times people wait until retirement to get going on their dreams, and then they don't even do that. Or people will be like, well, wait until the kids move away from home, or wait until this busy season goes by. I used to have friends that would work in the with taxes, the accounting part of it, and tax season was always the busiest, so it was always after taxes. I worked with many teachers. It was like, oh, I'll get on my goals in the middle of summer. Now is not a good time. There will always be those moments where now is not a good time, and you can still do something about it. So we're going to walk around and talk about building a life that really supports your energy and your goals at the same time. That should be really cool. And before we dive in, oh my gosh, super excited. Something fun. This week, I am hitting my 2000th episode of Power Blast Podcast. Now, if you're watching on video, this podcast actually started on video way back in 2007. Did a batch of lessons or a batch of podcasts then. Then I merged it into an audio only platform, but I still post the video version once a week, but the audio version is live every day. And you can go on to your podcast app and listen to that. 2000 is coming up. So I'd love to invite you to really come on and share. I want to share your message, your big wins and takeaways and shifts that you've had from the show. I'd like to feature that on an upcoming show. I'd love to hear your story. So here's a website to go to. I will post this into the show notes here. And if you're watching on the video version, I'll pop it down in the lower third there. It's at speakpipe.com/powerblaststories. Now, SpeakPipe is spelled SpeakPipe.com/powerblaststories. Leave a short voice message, your name, where you're from, and just a big win or shift that you've had from the show. And like I said, I'll post it into the show notes. I was just blown away when I was checking the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my 2000th episode coming up. And so this is really, really exciting. I want to include you. So speakpipe.com/powerblaststories. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Thanks so much for being a subscriber and a listener and a viewer if you're watching on YouTube. All right, let's talk about these big shifts. One of the biggest shifts to stop treating your energy at random, is to really just start treating your big shift and your energy as a priority. I know, easier said than done, right? But low energy, it's not just about age and willpower. I think a lot of times we do that, but it really grows out of how your days are set up. And you can make some subtle shifts during your day to really give yourself a lot of energy. So here's some things that I've learned over the years that I know will help you. There's got to be a few non-negotiables though, because a lot of times we've made things negotiable and we push them aside. So non-negotiables, things that support your body and your mind. So you're thinking of water, you're thinking of sleep, exercise, food, quiet time for your brain. If you want to include some bonus stuff, some deep breathing, just getting out in nature. Those things can really help you in so many ways with other things that are going on. All the things that you consider are distracting and overwhelming, and you're wearing your busy badge. If you do these non-negotiables first, those other things won't be as magnified. Okay. But you've got to go through and put in the reps on it. You can't just dabble like, oh, I got in an extra hour's sleep 1 day a week and that was it. Sleep, it's a real boundary for yourself. You think about letting go of the screen time. Maybe it's a solid bedtime that you go to bed. I used to tell myself that I'm not a morning person, and then I challenged it. I'm like, who says I'm not a morning person? Let me see what over the next 30 days what this is like. And that was a big shift for me. When I would do these little things, I would like test out one thing. Like, can I learn to like vegetables in 30 days? Can I learn to get more sleep in 30 days? Can I learn to like yoga in 30 days? Just those things. And then when I did that, I didn't look at it and say, well, at the end of 30 days, I'm done with that. I just looked to see what will the journey be like. Should I, does it make a difference? Vegetables made a difference. Yoga made a difference. Sleep made a difference. You can see where I'm going, right? Intentional water, intentional breathing, exercise. Make it simple. A plan that matches the season that you're in, not one from 10, 20 years ago. This could be just getting out for a walk. And I'm not trying to minimize getting out for a walk. I love taking walks here. It could be a strength training routine. It could be some yoga. Just blend it into your daily life. Make it a non-negotiable, saying, I'm showing up for 15 minutes a day consistently over the next 30 days. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get my momentum going. See, a lot of times people look at the 30-day thing and say, well, at the end of 30 days, I'm done. And it's like, no, this is a Kickstarter for the rest of my life. Food choices. I used to not really deal with the food stuff. I'm like, well, I'll eat middle of the road. I don't want to be locked into a eating plan of some sort. But you know what? Food can really drain your energy fast. And that's probably a big reason why other things seem so daunting and magnifying. That's why when I recommend exercising to somebody, they're like, I just don't have the energy to exercise. When exercise gives you energy, but there ends up being the cycle. So you do some shifts with your eating, get rid of the stuff, or at least portion it into smaller things that are draining your energy. And really, if you can say, over the next 30 days, I'm going to focus on the things that fuel me, not as a restrictive thing. It's just like, I just want to be recharging my battery all the time instead of going about life like I'm a 5-year-old smartphone with 2% battery life and no charger in sight. Quiet time often gets ignored by people, and that really matters a lot. Breathing, praying, journaling, just things to think about your dream, getting into your imagination. It helps your mind. It helps you expand. And when you can get radically honest with your calendar and look at that and say, where are the things in there that I'm committed to and taking action on for my energy instead of for my big to-do list. Now, this will take some practice for some of you. I noticed that. But just notice when you usually feel sharp and when you feel kind of dull. My big deal was I told myself I wasn't a morning person. So that meant if I'm going to exercise, it's going to be in the evening. I'm going to fit it in somehow. And I realized after a long hour commute home, I would convince myself that I needed to sit down and relax for about an hour, and then I'd go get my workout done. And almost religiously, after that hour, I'd be like, well, I'm not even tired. I'm not even up for it. So I'd promise myself I would do better the next day. And that became my habit. So what I did was, I'm going to get rid of that sit down and relax time and just make exercise automatic right after I get home from work. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to test this out for the next 30 days and see how I feel. Wow, I feel amazing. I feel energetic. I feel in a rhythm now. I don't feel like my to-do list is taking over. I feel like I'm boosting my energy every single day. My mind and my mental and my physical battery off the charts, right? So what is it for you? I mean, it could be your workout. It could be your food. It could be maybe it's a meal prep sort of thing. I used to integrate, I work from home now, but when I had a job with the hour commute, I would meal prep on Sunday afternoons, so I didn't have to think each day what I was going to have for lunch. I meal prepped them, and I could have it for quick grab and go. So you're not trying to cram more into your day. You're just lining up your best hours. Take a look at your energy. That's what is there things sucking your energy dry? Clutter. Sometimes the rooms can weigh you down. Can you liven up a space that's empowering and uplifting? Maybe your kitchen needs an overhaul where you go through all the cupboards and the pantries and the fridge, and you clear out the things that are going to drain your energy, and you're going to replace them with things that fuel you up. I get it. We will get into the mindset of, oh, I paid good money for that. Some people are starving in some other place, so I can't get rid of that. You know what? You've got to get rid of that mindset. That is not serving you. That is just a big old anchor that you're saying, so I can't do anything about this. Get rid of the temptations, right? So just these little bits of friction, they can pile up and make healthy choices and decisions feel heavy. So when you can remove that, energy can come in and replace it. Now remember, if you're removing something from your life, you need to replace it with something. Why not replace energy drainer with energy booster, right? Relationships can play a role with this. If you can get supportive people around you, those conversations can really be a boost. And just keep yourself really going forward. I'm trying to think of as many things as possible to really boost up your power and to think of things as, oh my gosh, if I remove that, I've got not only the time to do it, but the energy to do it. Because a lot of times people will say, well, if I could remove that off my calendar, I'll go and exercise, but they still won't take the action. I've got a lot of podcast episodes on shifting your identity to start doing those things. But as your energy rises, your goals stop feeling like this separate project. And it just becomes how you live from here on out. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm done with this until summer. I'm done with this when the timing's better. I'm done with it. No, you just say, this is the way I am. So that when the wedding happens, when a big event, you're ready. You're not needing to get ready. You stay ready. So these become part of how you live. And that's when change starts to feel less like a fight and more like your honest next step in who you're becoming. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. I promise I will reply. And if you can, go to that link, speakpipe.com/powerblaststories. Leave a big takeaway, a recording. I'd love to feature you on one of the upcoming shows. Probably be in the recording of the audio show, but it could be in one of the video ones as well. You absolutely rock, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaways down in the comments too. I promise I will reply. You absolutely rock. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness Community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.